think with the doctor. Yes, he's got it. Here he comes. Way rock the baby to sleep.
Until morning. Ewing.
Oh, wow. Oh, he's going to try to get one more shot off the last push. The buzzer. How about that? Steps over Toronto. He thought about three. He'll put up a three.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Boom Broadcasting presents Three from Deep. I'm your host, Jason Colenso. We are coming to you from an undisclosed location. We are here on some Camp David stuff. We're here at Camp Colenso, kind of hanging out, but I wanted to bring the finals to you here on this Monday. Very excited to end the season finally. Here we are. The 24-25 season has now officially come to an end we've crowned a champion. So we'll talk about that here in a second. But first things first, guys, welcome to the show. If you get a chance, like and subscribe. This is the Boom Broadcasting Network. I'm your host, Jason Colenso for Three from Deep. And we're going to jump right into this finals, guys. We had our Game 7 last night, and it definitely was not short of some drama. And we'll get to that here, too. But congratulations to the Oklahoma City Thunder, capping off their 68-win season with the NBA title. I think Oklahoma City was way too much for the Pacers. But, of course, there's a little bit of a reason behind that, too. But Thunder pulled away in that second quarter. Indy kept it close with all their drama that they had to deal with. But Thunder pulled away 103-91. Jalen Williams with 20 points. Chet Holmgren, 18 and 8. Better game there for Mr. Ichabod Crane. Did much, much better. Caruso dropping in 10 points. But, of course, it's all about SGA. SGA, 29 points, 12 assists, and the finals MVP. First player in history to win the league MVP, lead the league in scoring, conference finals MVP, and finals MVP. Joins rare air with O'Neal, Jordan, Jabbar for the scoring title, league MVP, and finals MVP. So congratulations to SGA, again, capping off an MVP season, and it was a heck of a season for him too. So we'll see how that rolls into next year because, you know, with superstars of SGA's stature, can he continue this and just become one of the stars in the league? He's already up there. That star is pretty bright, but can he continue that next year? So, again, congratulations to the Oklahoma City Thunder. It's been a heck of a playoff season. Lots of battles going on, ups and downs. Kind of didn't know who was going to win what, but Oklahoma City pulls it off. But let's talk about those Pacers here too, man. And an improbable run comes to an end. But, again, not short of the drama. And then about 4 minutes to go in that first quarter, Tyrese Haliburton, already on fire, 9 points, does the step back, puts his bad calf back there and gets the pop. And it's unfortunate that he ends up blowing his Achilles. And I know a lot of people have talked about it when you have that calf injury that, you know, if you don't take care of it or don't rest it right, you know, you may lead to an Achilles injury. And here we are, you know, especially in the first quarter with 4 minutes to go, the whole game to go. Your season's on the line. This is everything you've worked for, blood, sweat, and tears to get to this point. To have it go out like that for Haliburton, your heart goes out to him. Just a crappy way to go out, man. And you feel bad because you didn't want it to end that way. You wanted to see him go all the way to the end and really finish this game and see where it would have ended up with him on there. But unfortunately not. Went out in that first quarter. Look, Siakam dropped 16 points. Nebhard, 15. Matherin off the bench, which they needed that bench help, 24 and 13. TJ McConnell, 16.6 rebounds. So he got some help, but the biggest thing was turnovers. Just way, way, way too many turnovers. I believe it was 21 turnovers for the Indiana Pacers. So that was just way too much. And then it's in the second half, Oklahoma City and their dominance took over, and there was just not much they can do. But Pacers, what a historic run for them. What a great run. You just didn't want to see it end that way. And talk about a crazy playoff season. I was looking at something on social media here. We've had 3 blown Achilles in these playoffs with Dame Lillard, Jason Tatum, and now Tyrese Haliburton. All 3 of them wear 0 on their back. So, crazy coincidence, jinx. I don't know what to call it, but I don't think I've ever seen a playoffs before. I've seen playoff injuries before, in long seasons, but I've never seen 3 blown Achilles in one playoff series and one playoff season. So that was pretty crazy. And it's a shame because especially you blow your Achilles in the playoffs, you need a year plus to recover. So your whole next year is done. So Tyrese Haliburton just making a name for himself. Some of the big shots that he had, the comebacks, the last second heroics, to have that rewarded with blowing your Achilles. That's not cool. So you feel bad for him. Again, I'm a Knicks fan. Indiana beat the Knicks, but you hate to see that happen. I didn't like seeing it when Jason Tatum went down because, again, you want to beat that team when they're at their full complement because it just, it makes you feel better as the winning team. You don't want to ever win when, somebody goes down like that. So, but Oklahoma City, 68 wins in the regular season, now an NBA championship at the end of the season. Does this put them in the conversation as one of the greatest teams of all time? I don't know if I would put them up there yet. I think their body of work, because even though they had a great regular season the following, last year, and then they rolled it over to this year with 68 wins and now hoisting the trophy. Does that put him in conversations? Does that put him in conversations with, some of those Golden State Warriors teams, the Bulls teams that had 60-plus wins? So that'd be interesting to see. That's an interesting conversation to have. I don't kind of put them there yet. I think they need a bigger body of work, especially with SGA and Jalen Williams and Chet Holmgren together. I think they need a little more substance to maybe be considered one of the top teams of all times. And then maybe, looking back down the road in history, people will say, okay, well, this is where it started. This is where they really, flourished, and this is where it all began. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with history when we get down the road and we start hearkening back to this day and time. Is this the birth of a dynasty for Oklahoma City? If they can keep their team, they have tons of draft capital. Oklahoma City and that front office know how to do it. They are phenomenal with their trades, with collecting assets. So I do not see them getting weaker like a lot of teams would. They have a lot of superstars on their team that, once their rookie contracts run out, that they're going to have to re-up. But I have no doubt that no matter what, they're going to be able to retool and rebuild. So this may be the beginning of a dynasty for Oklahoma City. And the 2024-25 season with that 68 wins and now the championship, we may be putting them up there with some of the greats. History and only the future will tell. But great job there. Great job, SGA, getting that MVP. So now collecting tons of hardware with the regular season MVP, the conference MVP, and then now the finals MVP. So capped off a phenomenal season. Is this his coming out party? Are we going to see SGA become a mega star? Because I think he's already a superstar. He's doing the commercials. He's already kind of up there as far as his status. But is this going to be what vaults him into the next level when you talk about mega superstars? So it'd be interesting to see what happens there. So congratulations, Oklahoma City. And again, congratulations to the Indiana Pacers for making it all this way. You know, everybody was counting against you, and you guys got super, super close. So hopefully you continue the trend next year. It's going to be tough without your boy Haliburton. So, man, we'll talk about next year here in the coming weeks. Again, I'm going to be off for the rest of the week here, but starting next week, 3 from Deep will be back. I'm probably going to go down to one day a week here when we'll talk about, you know, the off season. We'll get in some of the teams. We'll get in some of the free agent moves, and then we'll talk about trades, of course, because those are going to be happening here pretty fast and furious. And of course, right now we're going to talk about a trade because I did a little reel the other day with it. But man, Kevin Durant on the move, heading out to Houston, H-Town, reloading after a second place finish in the West, a heck of a season, falling a little flat in the playoffs, and I attribute that to being young and being kind of a rookie team with a lot of young guys in there. But man, the Phoenix Suns, who are probably in unload mode, we're going to sell everybody off, trade Kevin Durant to Houston for Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, this year's number 10 pick in the NBA draft, and 5 second-round picks. Was that kind of what Phoenix wanted? I think Phoenix really wanted the moon for Kevin Durant. I still think they got a lot for him. This was a heck of a haul for Phoenix. What are they going to do with that now? But, man, you put Kevin Durant on that Houston Rockets team, who just now sealed Ime Udoka, their coach, for the foreseeable future. I still haven't seen the details on that yet. But Kevin Durant, Amen Thompson, Jabari Smith Jr., Steven Adams, Alfred Sengun, their all-star, Fred VanVleet, are the Houston Rockets now the favorites going into next year with that Kevin Durant addition? I say no a little bit. To me, the Thunder are still going to go into next year as the prohibitive favorites. I think the returning champions, especially keeping the complement of players that they have, I think they are going to be considered the favorites to win the NBA championship next year. So I can see them as the number 1. Rockets were second in the West. Right now, the way things stand, because Denver hasn't really done anything, the Lakers haven't done anything yet, so there's a lot of West teams. We'll see if Golden State gets a little healthier and does some changes too. I think they need to get a little bit younger with Butler and Curry. I think they definitely need some help on that team, but I'm going to put Rockets at a solid 2 right behind Oklahoma City as far as favorites to win the NBA championship next year. I do want to put my Knicks in there because, again, we talk about the West a lot and we don't include the East. But with Boston being down Tatum, Orlando adding to their mix, I think they're going to be in the mix next year with the addition of Desmond Bane to that young team. But my New York Knicks, depending what moves we make, even if we don't make any moves, I still have them maybe 3rd. I could see them as 1st in the East, but maybe 3rd as far as to win the championship. But the addition of Kevin Durant to the Houston Rockets is huge. You're talking about someone that averages over 27 points a game, who is a 30-point monster at any point in time. One of the most prolific scorers in the past 25 years. You know, you put him up there with LeBron James and James Harden as far as just guys that just are pure scorers that can score anywhere on the court, create their own shop. So we'll see how Kevin Durant fits in there. I'm a little concerned about that because Kevin Durant is 36 years old, soon to be 37. So now you've traded away Green, who was an up-and-coming star, a little inconsistent this year. Think he needs a little more development. He was right there, kind of on that cusp of being somebody to kind of get to that next tier of player where you're averaging over 25 points a game plus. But the addition of Kevin Durant to Amen Thompson, who I love me some Amen Thompson. I think he is going to develop into a superstar. I think he is the next superstar in me with the addition of Kevin Durant playing next to Amen Thompson. I think that's only going to improve his game. And then you got the all-star Alfred Sengun, who is only 23 years old. So now you have him who is constantly developing. He's got a great shot. Man, watch out for the Houston Rockets. Again, I have them number 2 in the West, number 2 overall for making it and winning the NBA championship next year. I still got to put Oklahoma City number 1. But I think this trade is, in the short term, phenomenal for the Houston Rockets. How much longer does Kevin Durant have? Does he have 3-4 more years in him where he's going to be that prolific scorer? Possibility, especially the way the NBA is today. You could be a little older now and still be prolific, especially the way the game is called and scores and the defense that's not really like defense it was before. So interesting to say. And then we had a little discussion on the Boom chat when this trade went down, talking about Kevin Durant and all the jerseys he has changed over the years. And does hopping from team to team and going from team to team really hurt Kevin Durant's legacy? He's a surefire Hall of Famer. There's no doubt about it. 15-time All-Star, 2-time NBA champion. So, he's already a Hall of Famer, and we get that. But in the pantheon of all-time greats, and you talk about the top 10, 12 NBA players of all time, I just can't put him there. I think the jumping around, getting traded team to team, trying to dictate your own narrative gets a little rough sometimes, and it puts you kind of in a different light. I don't like that Kevin Durant went from team to team. Just imagine if Kevin Durant never left Oklahoma City. And you had Kevin Durant and SGA. Imagine Kevin Durant on that Oklahoma City team. You talk about championships and dynasty. That would have been something. Of course, we're talking imaginary things right now. But, man, Kevin Durant switching jerseys over and over again. Now he's got a new one. Now he's got a new home. I think he's going to help the Rockets. But I do think that hurts his legacy a little bit, because we also get into, once you start talking about the top 12 players of all time, of course, you start talking about the GOAT, and then next thing you know, LeBron James, Michael Jordan conversations come into it. But we're going to keep this strictly to Kevin Durant. I can't put Kevin Durant in the top 10 of the NBA of all time. I just with the historical figures that have came before him, I can't put him there. And I think, again, a lot of it has to do with the team jumping. I think that hurts his legacy a lot. Then that's just me personally. Guys, let me know what you think. Do you think team jumping hurts these guys' legacies? You talk about a Kevin Durant, a James Harden, a Russell Westbrook, LeBron James, guys that go from team to team and kind of jump around. And I don't want to say chase championships, but maybe chase their own narrative, which sometimes can get a little out of control. And I think this got a little out of control for Kevin Durant. If anything, I wish he would have stayed in Golden State and just rode with Golden State and at least, finish your career with them. I think he would have had more championships. He would have had another championship with Steph Curry. And who knows how much greater the Golden State Warriors would have been if Curry and Durant were still on the same team. But I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Team jumping, good or bad? Does it hurt your legacy? Do you put Kevin Durant in the top 10? I know Stephen A. Smith has Kevin Durant in his top 10, which I think is asinine with some of the greatest basketball players of all time. I just can't put him there. Now, he's one of the greatest scorers of all time. I'm not going to dispute that. I think he is, as far as pure scoring and pure basketball talent. Yeah, maybe I put him in the top 10 of pure basketball talent. But to me, there's more about the NBA than just putting the ball in the bucket. There's a lot more that goes along to that. So, and then what does this trade say about Phoenix? Phoenix in rebuild mode. They are stacked on shooting guards with Booker, Beal. Now they got Green, Grayson Allen. So I don't think Phoenix is done. I think Beal gets moved. I would not be surprised to see Booker get moved too. So I think this is not the end for Phoenix in rebuild mode. I can see them trying to get some more players. I can see them trying to build more assets to really come back, because they looked terrible last year. Their big three did not work. I don't think the big three thing really works in the NBA. To me, you kind of need a superstar. You need a complement of role players, and then you need a deep bench, because what we saw from Indiana in their run and Oklahoma City in their run, you better have a deep bench in the NBA. You better have guys that can come off the bench and get you 10 or 12 points and be a spark plug, like a TJ McConnell, like a Obi Toppin. So is Phoenix going to really do some things like that? I don't know. History has not been kind to the Phoenix Suns and some of their moves and some of the things that they've done. But they're in position now to trade some top players away and get some more assets and really rebuild that franchise and bring it back to some of the old days where, you look at, with Stoudemire and Nash and Marley and just, you miss those old Charles Barkley. You miss some of those old Phoenix Suns teams. So we'll see what happens here. But lots of other moves going on. This is going to be a crazy offseason. We are a few days away from the NBA draft, the Cooper Flag sweepstakes, who we know that the Dallas Mavericks have won. So lots going on. I may be able to jump in. I think my man Aaron from Hoops and Helmets is going to put a compliment together and try to do something for the NBA draft. Unfortunately, I'm not in a position where I can do that right now. Again, here at Camp Colenso, but I wanted to come to you guys because I wanted to talk about that game last night and the Oklahoma City Thunder outlasting the Indiana Pacers, the heartbreak for Haliburton and his phenomenal run in the playoffs to end with a blown Achilles. Get well soon, Haliburton. Get well soon, Haliburton, please. Indiana needs you. And to all the guys that blew their Achilles. You talk about him, Tatum, and Dame Lillard. You talk about three phenomenal NBA players that we're not going to get to see next year. So I don't know if there's something going on with the shoes, with certain types of training. I've never seen this many Achilles blown like we've been seeing over the last few years. So really, really concerning. But guys, thank you so much for joining me. Again, thank you so much for joining me this season. It has been a heck of a run, and we've now finally crowned our champion, the Oklahoma City Thunder. So I will see you guys next week. Check me out here anytime on the socials. But, man, like and subscribe. Jump on the Boom Broadcasting Network. We got a lot of stuff coming on, guys. The NFL season starting to churn and come up here. So we got a lot of things coming up for the NFL. The MLB season is in full effect. Of course, wrestling is always going on. We always got something going on here at the Boom Broadcasting Network here, and we are not afraid to bring it to you here. So thank you guys very much for joining me. I will see you next week, and I'm about to go jump in the lazy river here and enjoy myself. So enjoy the off season there, NBA fans, and I will see you soon. Peace.